A first win for Cofidis this season, a first win for Benjamin Thomas in the World Tour, never mind at a Grand Tour, and only his second win outside of France. And the sprinters, Adam, you got to say they messed that up, didn't they?
Messed it up's an understatement. I mean, they properly messed it up. Yes, they had 4 strong guys out in front, but that should not have happened today. No way should it have happened. I equally think for Alpecin, I mean, they must be absolutely fuming, gutted. All that work on the climb, hurt the legs of the sprinters.
Everyone else is fuming with them, I'd imagine.
I can imagine they are, yeah. But also at the end, coming into it, there's enough teams there with lead-out men still that are all just sat back, waiting for the finish, waiting to do the lead-out. What's the point of leading out for 5th? Catch them first, use those guys up. Once you get there, figure it out on your own. That's what sprinters do. They can't just wait and wait and wait like they did, because we saw what happened. You're not going to catch these guys. So I think for some sprint teams, they'll be like, oh, gutted we didn't get that back. But for some teams, they'll be like, there needs to be something said to be like, guys, you need a strong road captain. Well, not guys, you need a strong road captain. The riders, they need a strong road captain in that situation to say to them, to the riders, the teammates, you need to get on the front, you need to stop pulling now. They can't wait for instruction from behind, because by they do that, another minute's passed, another minute and a half passed. The directors are looking at all each other's in the cars going, oh, are you going to ride? No, I'm not going to ride. You need one rider just to say, get on the front, we're going to ride. That's it, simple.
But there's so many of these arguments, isn't there? I mean, when that break first went, which let's remember was halfway through the stage, not the early breakaway of the day, initially it was Alpecin de Koning and Soudal-QuickStep turning around to Lidl Trek saying, come on, guys, when are you going to help? And eventually, Gebre-Xavier came to the front to help. And it goes in fits and starts. And all of a sudden, another team saying, well, we'll leave it to them now. And then the next team says, well, we'll leave it to them as well. Before they know it, like Robbie said on commentary, it's all out of control. But as you and I were saying in the commentary box, you know, that's the risk of what Alpecin de Koning did. Yes, they are going to put the hurt on the sprinters' legs, like the Malirs, the Ewens and the Jakobsens of this world. But the risk is you bring it all back together, you suddenly get 4 fresh riders going off the front that are going to be much harder to catch, and that's exactly what happened.
It was sort of a perfect storm for the breakaway, taking nothing away from their efforts, which was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But with the sprinters' teams, it was a series of teams sort of bluffing, taking advantage of other teams when they thought, OK, now they're doing the work, we'll take a back seat, save our whole lead out, we won't contribute for the moment. Then the other teams blew up, so then they go, oh, now we have to do something. They'd go up, but then another team would sit back and go, great, someone else is doing the work, instead of all doing it at the same time.
You can understand it to a degree, because there's so much in the bus in the morning or the night before about, ideally, this rider needs to get to here, then that rider takes you to there, then that person pilots you to 200 metres to go, and then Milan or Malia, whoever it might be, launches the sprint to the line. But as you pointed out, Adam, it has to come to a point where there's no point in doing that 200 metres to go if it's for 5th place. It's got to be for the win. So you have to change the plan out there on the road. And that call really has to come from the team car behind to assess what they see on television, albeit with the picture slightly delayed. So, look, these 4 guys are motoring. You know, they're going at 60 k's an hour whilst you're going at 60 k's an hour. We're going to have to use up some riders that we are hoping to save for later in the race so that we've got an opportunity to take a stage win.
There's an easy fix. They just turn up the volume on our commentary during the finale and just do what we're saying, because you can sort of see. I mean, it's easy to sit back outside of the race and say, like, they're going to really have trouble trying to catch them, because they're just, you could see it not taking enough time. It was like 1 second off, 2 seconds off, but then 2 kilometres had gone by. And you say, this is not going to happen for them.
Even black and white, even black and white, from the bottom of that climb, they had the same riders that were riding beforehand, 3 of them against 4 fresh ones. I mean, do the math. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Tired riders against 4 fresh ones.
3 against...
Yeah, sorry.
Carry the...
But, you know, we ask this question over and over again, and certainly new fans to cycling say, well, what is the point in those riders going in the breakaway? They're only going to be caught. They'll be swallowed by the massive riders behind who can work together. That's why, because it works. And when it does work, then it's beautiful.
It doesn't often work, but when it does...
But often enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to roll the dice, because look at guys in the break. They're never going to win a mountaintop finish. They're not going to win a bunch sprint. They may not win a time trial. So if they're going to win, it's got to be from a break. The more times you get in a break, you enhance your chance of eventually being in a break that gets to the finish.